Tune in to the Denver Foos podcast.
Denver Foos all day, bro. Follow them from LA to Denver. Let's do this, baby.
Shout out to my boys, Denver Foos. Go about Tony Loya.
Shout out to Denver, man. A Mile High City. You know what time it is.
What's up? It's Mariah the Scientist, and I just want to shout out Denver Foos. I'm here with such a baddie. Look at her. Oh, my God.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Shout out Denver Foos.
I want to give a huge shout out to my buddies there at Denver Foos.
Shout out Denver Foos. I appreciate y'all.
Shout out Denver Foos. We love you, Denver Foos.
Denver Foos. What it do? It's your boy Chingo Bling. Right now, you tuning in to the Denver Foos. Shout out to Denver Foos, baby.
Denver Foos, wherever you find your videos, wherever you get your podcasts, go follow Denver Foos and enjoy.
Hey, let's go, Denver Foos.
Denver Foos, IG, follow us, man. Follow us, subscribe, like us, YouTube.
Shout out to Denver Foos. Good to see you.
The Denver Foos.
Yeah. Shout out to Denver Foos. You know, represent for the motherfucking city.
Shout out Denver Foos.
What's up? It's your boy Concrete right here with Denver Foos. And all you got to do right now, Perito, is hit that follow. Hit that follow, hit that like, hit that share button. Share all the content. Let them know where it's at. Denver Foos, your boy Concrete. We in here, Perito, mile high.
Denver Foos.
Name's Daniel Jumba Garcia. Shout out to Denver Foos, one of the best.
Shout out Denver Foos.
Shout out to Denver Foos.
Shout out Denver Foos, North Side, baby. It's all about the North Side.
Hey, shout out Denver Foos. That's Emmanuel Sanders, legit people over here.
What's cracking, homeboy? Denver Foos. Denver Foos, homeboy. And it's your boy Cam Flores. Shout out to the homies at Denver Foos.
Denver Foo. You guys are the best. Shout out to Denver Foos.
Shout out to Denver Foos.
Denver Foos on IG. Come get in touch with the plug. They always got their finger on the pulse.
Are you a Denver Foo?
Yes, all day, every day, baby.
You want to be on Denver Foos or what? Eh?
Denver Foos 303. Denver Foos, huh?
Follow Denver Foos 303, Instagram, Facebook.
For real, Denver Foos, live and direct.
Denver Foos, bro. We from the South Side.
Present. Uniting the city, baby.
Shout out Denver Foos.
Say it, Foos, baby, Denver Foos.
Let's go, my Denver Foos. What's up?
What up, Denver Foos? What's going on?
Yeah. Denver Foos.
Denver Foos in the building. Let's go. Shout out Denver Foos. I love the Denver Foos. Y'all keep it up. Y'all keep doing your thing.
Yo, Denver Foos, I'll follow you guys up.
I'm Denver Foos here reporting from Denver, Colorado. From Chicago, but I think I'm a Colorado fan now.
You're a Denver Foo now.
No, I am.
Shout out to the Denver Foos. What's up, Denver Foos? Denver Foos. Hey, man.
Take one, Denver Foos.
Hey, shout out to Denver Foos. I noticed y'all right away. Y'all putting it down, you know, for all the gente.
Shout out to Denver Foos. You locked in, man. Stay tuned to what they got going on. One love.
I here chilling with the Denver Foos. You already know how we do it. Much love.
It's your boy DJ Sarms Carter. Denver Foos, we in the motherfucking building.
What's up, Denver Foos? Welcome to the Denver Foos podcast. We're live here in the studios, Adrian's We Care Media Studios. We're here. This show is brought to you by DTF Express. Make sure you hit up DTF Express for all your needs. If you're trying to build your brand, if you make DTF and you print your own clothes, they sell all the equipment. They sell everything you need to get right of your own business, your own brand. And they also power our entire denverfoos.com of all our merch. So log on to denverfoos.com. Without further ado, we want to welcome our special guest here on the Denver Foos podcast. Welcome to the show, Jeff Cisneros, Sparta Sports and Entertainment. Welcome to the Denver Foos podcast.
I'm honored to be here, guys. I love what you guys do. We were talking off camera. I was telling everybody I love the Denver Foos, and I wanted to meet you guys. And then my boy Brandon Royval was like, I know them. I said, bring them to a fight.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon Royval. He just got the big dub just about a month ago at the UFC. He started in Sparta, correct? Or what?
He started with us, his pro career. He had quite a bit, I think like 4 or 5 fights with us. Mm-hmm. And then we've always just followed his career. He's been amazing. We love rooting him on.
Definitely. Man, Sparta Sports and Entertainment. We had the honor to go check you guys out over in Loveland at the Blue Arena.
Blue FC Arena.
Mm-hmm. Blue, and then also in, is that Lakewood, Denver, right there?
Yes, Lakewood, the Eclipse Event Center for one of our fight nights.
The Eclipse Event Center. Man, action-packed events every single time. I mean, you're going to see something you like, and you guys have it all at Sparta events.
Yeah, I mean, part of the goal was always like having, you know, a ring and a cage and being able to showcase boxing, kickboxing, MMA, and now bare knuckle boxing, make it a complete combat sports platform. That way, you know, we get a lot of crossover.
Right. Well, let's take it back to the beginning. I mean, I was doing some research.
Yep.
You started Sparta with $500, or tell us the story.
Yeah. So
your last $500.
Well, man, I was like such a huge boxing fan growing up, and then I boxed. My coach Stephen Blea, who works for the boxing commission, was my trainer, and I always just like I wanted to do our professional boxing shows here in Colorado. And one of my good friends, Steve Mestis, who runs Airtight Promotions, I'd met him years ago and he was doing boxing, and I'm like, I really want to do a boxing show. And then I'm like, but you know what? I want to do MMA as well and kind of get it going. And I got all hyped up, and then I didn't have enough money to do the permit because they were $600 and I had $500. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I actually collected cans to get the other $100 because aluminum was paying really well. And I put our last $600 into a permit, and we were off and rolling.
Wow. But
that's awesome.
Talk about entrepreneurism, hustle, just belief into something. I mean, they don't get any more belief and hustle and entrepreneurism than that.
Yeah, it was one thing about me is I'm a serial optimist. I've always believed anything's possible.
Correct.
And let me tell you, that's gotten our ass kicked a few times, but it's also led to, some moments that were beyond my wildest dreams. And so I think that you've got to believe in what you're doing before anybody else can. And I saw the vision. I mean, so many things have happened in the last 17 years beyond what I anticipated it becoming. But there's roadblocks and setbacks beyond what you can control or foresee.
Right. What advice could you give to folks to, in entrepreneurism, in life, when they hit those roadblocks? What do you usually do to kind of get over those or roll with the punches? No pun intended.
Other than the mental breakdowns that happen, and you're questioning everything that you're doing.
Right.
My advice to everybody out there that's pursuing their dreams is always like, listen, how bad do you want it? Right? Like dig down. And Steve Jobs said it the best. Like, if you don't love what you do, you are going to quit because this shit is hard.
Right.
There's so many things that happen along the way that you could just never plan for. And so I always tell people, especially young entrepreneurs, we've had the conversation before, you've got to believe in it. You've got to keep going no matter how hard it is. Every next level of your life will require next level of yourself. And, that is just so real. I mean, this journey took me to a point where we were going to go out of business or we had to sell our house. And I made the decision to sell our house. And a lot of people said, you're crazy. And I know that. And it's a selfish sacrifice, but I don't think I would have, there was no other path for me.
Right. Correct. Yeah. You have to make sacrifices sometimes. Sometimes in the moment it seems crazy to other people, but then once you get on that other side and then they see, oh, okay. This is what you were talking about, I get it. Or you get I always knew you always had it.
Yeah. I mean, people see public glory, but not the private struggle.
Right.
And that's the most real part. So many people I look up to, I've seen the immense struggle that they've gone through, but people see, the cars, the houses, the trips and all these things. And they think, oh, you got lucky or it's always been that way. And man, you've got to walk through hell for real to be able to get to where you want to go.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. What shaped your mentality to have your mentality as an entrepreneur and to make the sacrifices and take the risks?
I honestly just believe you're born with it. I really do. The way that we were born in Denver, just a few blocks away from our Sparta building that you guys have visited. My mom was always very entrepreneurial minded, and she just had these business ideas and she was a hustler, the things that she wanted to do. But when I was about 7 years old, my mom got really sick and she had a brain tumor.
Oh man.
And it dramatically changed her life. She was not able to pursue her dreams, and I think that really lit a fire under me and just seeing you got to go for it at all cost. And so, when I was a kid in school, I was selling baseball cards and popping candy. And I remember once I got suspended for running the after school dice and, dice and quarter program. Remember we used to toss dice in the quarters to the side. Now looking back, I'm like, that was entrepreneurial. I don't care what the principal thought.
Right. I mean, they legalized sports gambling, right? So
I would have been fine now.
Yeah. let's go back a little bit with Sparta and those first events. What were those first events look like? I mean, the first event we experienced, it was, I mean, we lived in Las Vegas.
It was
My
first
parents
class,
used to take us.
first of all.
Just
I
let's
thought it
just
was
put
great.
some context of our experience within MMA, within boxing. We used to go to all the De La Hoya fights. My parents were big De La Hoya fans, so we're used to that. Floyd Mayweather was one of our customers at Bank of America, so we used to go to a lot of those fights. So we're used to mega fights, just the atmosphere, the experience. When we went into Sparta, it didn't feel like any different than that. At the Blue Arena, it felt like a real fight night. You know, it was top-notch pay-per-view quality. Just the arena, the fighting inside the ring, the product, and just the seating, everything was top-notch. And we were surprised, you know, because when you think of maybe not the big promotion companies that you're used to hearing and stuff, you think maybe, but you guys did it top notch. I just got to give you your props and your flowers. But what were those first events like?
Well, there was 3 of us, and we didn't have enough money to. We had to rent the U-Haul box truck to load everything up from under my deck and go. We'd go down to the bar and we'd get everything set up, and then we'd have to tear it down, and we'd have to run home and try to get that box truck returned by midnight so we didn't get the extra charges. And it was so much fun, but man, it was a far cry from the product we see today. I mean, I felt like we always had really exciting fights, but we didn't have no production. But going into it, the goal was always to have like a Vegas style production, just like you guys. You know, I had been to Vegas fights to see De La Hoya. The very first fight I ever went to was the MGM Grand when I was about 15 or 16 years old. It was Roberto Duran and Vinny Pazenzia.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
And I would just like, boxing makes it feel like a production from the time you walk in to the time you leave. And I mean, UFC is beautiful too, right? But there's no comparison for me in the big boxing events that they throw in Vegas. So I'm like, okay, we got to get the money to do the lighting. We've got to be able to have more production. We've got to elevate our game. And so those first 2 ones were more like a they were kind of like just a bar brawl with some cage panels up. And a funny story about the cage. So I had a friend that was an amazing a builder, Bob the Builder, basically, right? And he's like, let me see one of those cages. He's like, I could build one. And he welded one together, and he built our very first cage, and he made it in his garage in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
What we didn't know is that cage had about 2,000 nuts and bolts. And so it was just really well thought out. It was just not very, we didn't think it through for setup and tear down.
Oh yeah.
But it lasted for about 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
This freaking thing's gonna hold up at least.
It was built like a tank, man. I mean, that thing was so heavy, it was crazy.
So the beginning Sparta events, was it just boxing, or how did tell us about the evolution of how it is today?
Yeah. So initially it was just MMA. It was just mixed martial arts, and that's all we had. But I always had the dream. I wanted to do boxing. That was like something that was very important to me. And I think that I think it was December 2016, we did our very first boxing event. And it went over very, very well. And I had a lot of help from my good friend, Steve Mestis, who owns his own promotion, but he helped me get it going. And then we really got on a run. We got a run on it. But the evolution you see today, like the King of Sparta tournament, where you have 8 guys, 1 weight class, you have quarterfinals kickboxing, quarterfinals boxing, semifinals kickboxing. Championship is MMA for $10,000, and title King of Sparta is one of my favorite fighters of all time. He fought for Sparta, is LT Nelson. And if you watch this guy fight, he's a monster. You'd have to walk through hell to fight this guy, but guys would figure out how to get him on the ground and submit him. And so I was just like, what if we created a tournament where you had to fight that guy on his feet for 2 rounds?
Wow.
So you got to do boxing, then kickboxing. And it's no mistake, the guys won the tournament 3 times.
Wow.
And some of the other names that have won the tournament, they're top elite guys in UFC, like Dustin Jacoby, Yusuf Salal.
Yeah, we had him on our podcast.
Yeah, Cody Durden. You had Yusuf on?
Yeah,
he's amazing.
He told us the whole story on how he went from, he was in the UFC, he lost a few fights, then he went and won the King of Sparta, and it kind of just
Got him right back.
trailblazed him back into the UFC.
Yeah, same thing with Dustin Jacoby. That was kind of his story. But you know, and I just want to keep evolving it. And to be honest, like bare knuckle was never part of it. But then seeing guys like LT Nelson or Junior Columbus,
Right. Shout out to Junior.
Shout out to Junior. That's my boy, pretty bad. But there's just some guys that are built for it. Honestly, they're just it's a different it's a different level of savagery, and a different. They're like cavemen.
Yeah,
but they're very skilled still. Like Junior,
very skilled.
You know, like LT Nelson is unbelievable kickboxer, striker, fighter, but he is something special in bare knuckle boxing. And that's what I saw in Junior. And that's what I was telling Junior one day. And I was just like, have you thought about it? And he's like, I don't know. Now he's like hooked and he's a 2-division champion.
Right. Yeah, no, bare knuckle is taken over our household. So we've always been boxing fans. MMA will tune in, not just, I think because it's such a sport that the guys are in and out so much. It's hard to, to latch onto a guy and the way some of the other leagues kind of treat their guys in and out, it's hard to kind of just follow a career if they're just kind of a revolving door. So boxing's always been number one. We always tune into all the big MMA pay-per-views and stuff, but bare knuckle has really taken over. I mean, was it 2-3 summers ago? We just, I think it was like Tubi, it just was on, and we were just watching every fight, and sure enough, we were able to go to one of those events. The other league,
was it the BKFC event?
Yeah.
First Bank Center.
Yeah. We went to that, and then, man, just always been hooked with it because it's a different. You have to have a different dog in you for sure, and like you have to be skilled, like. There's some fights that the guys they don't have the skill. They're just getting knocked out, or they're just not connecting their punches. But it takes a different type of dog in you to do that.
You're not lying. I mean, I've seen just some of them, and like it's just there's no other way to explain it. If you've seen LT Nelson fight or Junior Columbus fight, like they got that dog in them. Like LT's a zombie, man. Like you were not gonna. You might knock him down, but he's going to get up, and then it's not going to be good for you the rest of the fight. I think he's like 11-0-1 or 11-1, and it was a very controversial loss, but it's exciting. And I think that, it's something new, and it's barbaric, but like, we're seeing our viewership is at an all-time high when those cards are on, when we have the bare knuckle fights.
Let's fight to the death.
No,
I say let's go.
Yeah,
it might sound crazy. No,
I love it. No, like, when we went, you guys had it as like the main event. I mean, and those fights are quick too. Some of them. I mean, we've seen a couple rounds, and I was like, oh my gosh, how are these guys just still in here, just taking blows to the head? Their eyes are puffed up, but it's definitely taken the world by storm. There's been a lot of other leagues that have been popping up. A lot of ex-boxers are getting in, MMA guys getting in. I mean, it's literally taking the combat sports world by storm. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, because it's all gas, no brakes. I have not really seen a boring bare knuckle fight yet.
Correct.
I mean, it's wild. It's just like you got two guys that are gangsters that are willing to do combat bare knuckle in there, and it's just like a lot of it does happen fast. I want to say the finish rate is over 95% in our league from what we've had it. And we've had some pretty good fights of late that were just great bare knuckle fights. The last one at the Wide Open Saloon, Mike O'Connell and I forget what his name is, his opponent, but it was wild. They went almost the whole distance, and they looked like they went through the moon.
Goodness.
It was crazy, dude.
I just seen what was it, Victor Ortiz? He won, but he looked like he lost.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the Vargas sons.
Oh yeah,
two
one
of
of them's
them
doing it. Or two of them are doing it now.
Yeah, they both won their debut, so they're really hyped about it, and they're in it. They're locked in.
It's crazy. I mean, the market's there for it, right? Like one thing, no matter where the economy is fights and fights. Well, entertainment always does well.
Definitely. We need to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors, the Rolling Stoves. Make sure you go follow the Rolling Stoves, Colorado. Get you a burger bomb. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind food you can't find anywhere else in the country. Only Japan, they have those burger bombs. Get you a Rolling Stoves burger bomb. Later in the show, we're going to be announcing our winners from the concert giveaways from Live Nation. We have Nas, The Roots, and Jadakiss over at the Junkyard. So if you didn't enter that contest, get your tickets, livenation.com. And we're going to be announcing the winner here real soon. The Broncos, they're playing the preseason game. That's why I'm rocking the Broncos right now. But, I mean, real Bronco fans, we just tune in and then, you watch the highlights, you hear about it. I mean, Bo Nix wasn't playing. He's still, probably resting the ankle. They said he looked good, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I've been a diehard Bronco fan since I was a little boy. So it's, I'm excited. I think what they got going for them is they don't have a lot of people believe in them. And Sean Payton takes that personal. The whole team takes it personal. And I honestly can't understand why people don't love Bo Nix. I mean, he's a dog, man. And he is literally like performed he went toe to toe with Josh Allen, who is one of the elites. In the big games, he played his best. So
definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited for Bronco season.
Yeah, no, I mean, and then we have a dominant defense. You can't sleep on the defense.
No.
Those guys are dogs.
Yeah. I bet they got a couple guys that could be bare knuckle champions.
Yeah, for sure.
They're huge.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
I want to go back into you building Sparta.
Sure.
Right. What made you believe that Colorado could support its own combat sport platform?
It wasn't even really a thought for me. At the time, we had very good combat sports promotions here. Sven Bean, who ran Ring of Fire, the guy's amazing. He's a pioneer here. He had an incredible show. And then Seth Daniels was actually somebody that I really looked up to. He had Fight to Win, and he had these amazing promotions. So believe me, our word was cut out. But I love being the underdog because I felt like I always have been my whole life, and I love proving people wrong. And I just had this vision, like, I admired what those guys did, but I wasn't trying to be like them. I had something different in mind. And I think that's what separated Sparta and our dreams from day one, is like, we just had a different vision. And so I literally went to the gyms, one by one. I remember I went to Factory X and met Coach Mark Montoya, and I said, hey, this is what we're trying to do. And then I went and met Shannon Sin and Josh Copeland. And those two were definitely big pioneers in the Sparta brand. They came over when there really wasn't a lot of reason to. We had no production. We had no money. We had some shitty merch that I was making in my basement with like some used screen printer. So it wasn't going too well.
Definitely. How do you balance all the combat sports that you have at Sparta? MMA, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. How do you balance all of that? Is that how do you balance it all?
I don't. We have an incredible team. Our director of fight operations, Vern Earwood, he's been a part of Sparta for the last decade. Big Vern, bare knuckle fighter himself too. He's one of those knuckleheads that we talk about. He just, he does such a great job with the matchmaking, and he understands it very well. So he, that's really his job. He watches the matchups, and we talk about, every once in a while I get excited. I'm like, it'd be a good fight. And then he's like, oh, I like that. And I'm like, let's send it over, see if it can happen. But one of the things I always say is I get an unfair amount of the credit, and rightfully so. I take any criticism that comes our way. But we have an incredible team. We have the production team. My business partner, Jesse Rarick, he runs and operates all the production, all the team, all the editing. He oversees everything that happens like that. Jessica runs all the operations, all the behind the scenes, everything that happens on that side. So we have a really big team. And then we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago, the setup and teardown team. They are so valuable because the show really can't happen without them. So it's everything from setup to tear down to, Brad Hart, our new MC, who's been doing such a great job. But the events do not happen without setup, tear down, without Jessica, without Jesse, without Vern. It's really, not a lot. And it's allowed me to, go off and chase these other dreams, like the stuff we have going on at the building and things like that.
Definitely.
So not only do you guys find great talent, in the rings and the octagons, but it seems like you go about finding good personalities as well and good people. How do you go about doing that?
I think
the fighters.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because I remember, out of all that, we've owned 10 businesses, and doing this for 17 years, my favorite people in the world are the fighters. And literally, I've just made some of the best friends in my entire life through this business. And I think that when you have good intentions, you just find those people, and you can't let the bad interactions happen. You know, there's going to be betrayal. There's going to be things that don't go your way, but you can just never let it stop being who you are in that way. You know,
Correct.
you're going to piss off a lot of people when you're running business because you got to make decisions that are not popular. But for the most part, it's like, I love our fighters, and they're just such good people, good human beings. Like Junior Columbus, you would not believe that dude's a fighter. If you went in there and got a haircut from him or just talked to him for 5 minutes, if you didn't see him fight, you would not know that he's that guy.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, no. We got to see him. Who else did we see fight? Wow, man. That's one thing about your guys' card that's nonstop action.
Yeah.
Like literally, like when we only went to 2 events, but I feel like I've seen a lot of how do you go about finding talent, or like how does that all go about at Sparta?
Yeah, after 17 years, we have fighter applications, so we do get a lot of submittals from all over the country, and then locally too. And then the gyms all talk, and they're like, "Hey, I got this rising prospect that's coming up. You know, you should really take a look at him." And then we're like, "Okay, well, let's get him on a card." So it's not too much of a struggle, but like sometimes you can get hit with that injury bug. Stuff can happen. Somebody can pull out. It's literally that has never changed in 17 years. It's always going to be a problem.
How do you bounce back from something like an injury bug or somebody having to bounce out of a fight at the last minute? What?
Yeah, I mean, it just you really don't. It can really hurt you. So like losing a really big main event can be just a total butt kicker financially. It doesn't really I mean, you just have to just keep rolling with the punches, and move on to the next event. So like sometimes your card is so stacked that you can lose 1 or 2 fights and it's no big deal. And other times it could really be crippling.
Yeah. Like combat sports has gotten very popular, especially in the content creator space, influencer space. Have you guys been approached by any content creators, influencers wanting to get into the space of combat sports, whether they're like get in the actual ring, like the Jake Pauls of the world and stuff like that?
Yeah, in a smaller version. I mean, we've had a couple people with like 900,000 followers, that are doing content and they want to fight. One of the guys could actually, he was actually a good fighter.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I actually think that Jake Paul is brilliant and he can actually fight. And he's got balls. I mean, he fought Anthony Joshua and got his jaw broke. But I think it's good, like, because it just creates another pathway for somebody else. Like, content has become king and a lot of old schoolers don't like that. But I think it's an amazing opportunity for somebody in the entrepreneurial world. Like you guys have been doing this for quite some time too. I mean, this could be somebody's calling away, they're calling to life and entrepreneurship to do it. So I don't hate it. I love that the guys are getting more proactive in their, in their content creation and the call outs. And, we're trying to evolve our game as well to try to keep up with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, at the end of the day, it's sports, it's entertainment as well. So, you got to keep the fans entertained. I mean, they've been selling fights for since the Muhammad Ali days, with the going back and forth and, just selling a fight, that's just kind of all part of it, right?
Yeah. I love when you get 2 guys that don't like each other though. And they start going, they start getting,
when they really don't. You could tell when they really don't like each other, or they could just, some fighters, they could just turn that on before a fight and just really use that feel for the fight, and then after they could just put it all away, put it aside.
They're shaking hands, having a beer afterwards, and that's the other beautiful part about the sport. If there is beef before, it's usually squashed after.
Definitely. I mean, just as it should be. Like men, sometimes you might ruffle feathers with your brothers, your family, but then sometimes if you
Did you want one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Awesome. Thank you.
Right on. Thank you.
Here.
The
Silver wants that. Yeah.
That beef is just initially gone after,
Thank
you got to let all that energy out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And then it's very rare that we get 2 people that really just don't like each other. It happens. It's obviously good for the promotion and the selling the fight, but most guys have the utmost respect for each other. And, they have so much respect for each other that they're trying to grow their career in the sport. They want to fight the best guys.
Definitely. One thing that I did notice when we were at the smaller venue, the Eclipse, how important like fighter safety was. you know, you guys have a whole medical team. How important is fighter safety for all the events for Sparta?
It's top tier. In fact, it's so top tier that we actually hire our own chief medical officer to be a part of it, to oversee, make sure we're doing everything. And then, you know, Dr. Kaki, who works for the commission, and he's a trauma surgeon. Actually, I believe he's chief of surgery for UC Health in Greeley. He cares so much. It's number one priority is fighter safety and making sure like they can continue if there's a bad cut or if there's an injury. Fighter safety is always number one in there. And sometimes you have to save the fighter from the fighter, especially in the bare knuckle fights. These guys want to keep going, you know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, how do coaches prevent that sometimes? You know, when it's like, man, you're just not putting up a good enough fight. We got to protect you.
Yeah, they'll throw on the tell.
There's quite a fine line though. Sometimes, you know, it's like a lot of guys have a lot of heart, and it's like this, but then it's like the thin line between, are we really gonna throw in the towel and quit all this time? You know.
Yeah.
What do you know what goes in those decisions? Sometimes?
I have no clue. It's different for every coach.
Yeah,
I will tell you guys a story. During the pandemic, we were doing an event up in Wyoming, and there's this fighter named Chris Kokoris. He is one of the top young amateur prospects in the country, and he was living in California at the time. He left a Christmas party with his fiance and his dog and got hit by a drunk driver head on. It killed his fiance, his dog, and literally like ripped him wide open. He worked for a couple of years, 2.5, 3 years to come back, and he came back on our card. And they were building this documentary on him, and so they were like following him that night and everything. And this was like a true Rocky moment. He was getting beat up to a point to where they're like, we may have to stop the fight. You know, in 10 seconds left, he knocks out his opponent.
Wow.
So yeah, it was crazy, but it was just like, that was a real Rocky moment right there.
Right.
And you could just see the emotion of overcoming, like, you know, all the stuff that he had been through. He'd worked so hard to get there, and it came down to those last 10 seconds. You know, he overcame it.
That happened on one of the cards. Remember, there was a guy that was kind of seemed like he was struggling through the whole fight. Then just right at the end, he turned it around. That's sometimes that's like the equivalence to like a pick six. Like they're driving down. Like there was a pick six just in the game that was 90-yard pick six.
Yes,
it's like it looks like they're just about to score and finish, but then boom, turns around and it's like, wow, what did I just witness?
Well, that's what I love about the fight game is like you're not going to find more resilient people. Like everybody's fighting for a different cause and a different reason, right? Very few guys, it's just a sport and that's what they want to do. It's like, you know, they're fighting for something more in their life. And they're just, you don't see quitters in the sport, to be honest with you. It might happen here or there, but these are the most resilient and tough human beings that you'll ever see. I mean, combat sports is just, it breeds that mentality, and these guys are warriors.
Right.
And the girls too. The girls are amazing.
Yeah, you guys, we seen an female MMA fight. How many female fights do you guys usually put on your cards?
We'd like to have more, but we, you know, usually we have 2 coming up on this next event next weekend, but usually we get 1 or 2 of them. But yeah, I always wanted to do an all-female card, but it just hasn't worked out. We were doing the Queen of Sparta tournaments back in 2018, 2019, and those were a lot of fun. So me and Vern and the whole team have been talking about bringing back the King of Sparta, or the Queen of Sparta tournaments.
Is it just finding females that are like available? Yeah. I'm friends with Sinisa Estrada. She's a retired boxer now. And her whole difficulty through her whole career was just finding opponents, other women in her weight class. And that was pretty much one of the hardest things for her as a woman in the combat sports.
Yeah, I mean, now it's a lot of them do train with each other, so they don't like to fight each other if there's cross training going on. But it's continuing to grow, you know, especially like in women's sports has gotten so big and popular, like MMA and kickboxing. Boxing is no different. Like we're seeing growth in it. It's just taking some time, but you know, it just a lot more goes into it. You've got to bring them from all over the place.
You guys have international fighters all times. Are there any difficulties as far as matching up fights together? What are some of the difficulties sometimes when you're trying to match fights up?
Yeah, I mean, that's really something that Vern handles now, but you know, negotiation. So pricing, you know, our last fight we had, you know, Adam Vigil, who's 12-1 as a pro, and he fought a gentleman that we brought in from Brazil.
Mhm.
So you got to, you're talking travel is not cheap, hotel, and, just acclimation, making sure that he's going to be able to, be here and, put on a good fight and that whole nine. But both guys are world-class athletes. And so it's honestly really fun when you get two of the best versus the best. Like that's the favorite thing you like to see. And both guys are like, let's do it. And that's my respect for Adam B. Hill. He's one of those guys. He does not care. He wants to fight the very best, no matter the risk.
Definitely. Well, having Sparta in the Mile High in Colorado with the altitude, how much does that affect the athletes? Do you happen to see that affect some of the athletes that come from other states and countries?
Not as much as I used to, but I think they're just in better shape. Everything's advancing. You got those training masks and a lot of other things. Like I haven't seen it become an issue in about 3 to 4 years, to be honest with you. It was the last time I saw somebody say the altitude really got them. It's a real thing. I mean, we see it with pro athletes. It just depends on, who it is. But I mean, the level of these guys and these girls that fight they're pretty prepared.
Definitely. Let's talk about some of the community work that Sparta does. You're very active in the community at all times. Tell us about some of the community things you guys do.
Well, in the next 2 weeks, we're running our Sparta Shoes for Kids program. This is the 17th year. So we take nominations from the community and then we take these kids shopping to Flatirons Mall. Usually we work a deal with like JD or, Shoe Palace and we let the kids buy any pair of shoes that they want. And we've been doing it for 17 years. And now we have some pretty big partnerships like Ramos Law. We got together and we created something called Project Uplift. And, Chris Barrientos with DTE as well. Like we just launched a food pantry yesterday. They distributed 1,700 pounds of food from our Sparta building. And we just got to keep it rolling because this community has been so good to me, backed me up and supported me and Sparta and all of our crazy endeavors that I want to keep giving back. I want to keep pouring into the communities that give to us. And then as we're expanding into other states and other communities, we want to grow these programs. So the next 2 weeks are my favorite 2 weeks of the year is buying these kids new shoes. And it's a beautiful thing to see the smiles on their face. A new pair of shoes can definitely change somebody's life.
Nice. That's amazing. That's the kind of stuff we love to see over here on our platform. Folks that support their community, that supports them and gives back, I mean, without the community, without people showing up to the fights, without people watching us, liking our stuff, sharing our stuff, we're nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you could be humbled and have everything taken away from you in a blink of an eye. That's how this world works. God has been really good to me and my family and to Sparta and, and to so many people. We owe it to our community. And it doesn't, what I always tell people is if you had any level of success in your community, you owe it to your community. And that doesn't always have to be monetary. It could literally be like, serving in a soup kitchen, giving back, however, there's so many different things that you can do. And so this is a big part of our 2027 plan with Ramos Law is we are really getting aggressive in the community projects. So one of the other things is we're taking underprivileged children to Rockies games, to Denver Nuggets suite, to the Avalanche suite, to the Broncos games, because those things are not, it's not a realistic thing when you're growing up. Like that's just not something that's affordable for your average family. Like, tickets are crazy expensive for the NFL games.
Or just hard to attain. It's sold. We've how many record season selling tickets for years and years. And then on the secondary market, I know adults that have never gone to Broncos games because the Broncos games is like gold. But for you guys to give that opportunity to kids to go to Rockies games or any type of sporting event, I mean, that's amazing. It's eye-opening as well. It really gives kids an eye-opener to see what is going on in the world, just to see stuff.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And that's one of the things that we talked about when we were forming this partnership with Ramos Law is they do so much amazing stuff in the community and they don't talk about it. And so we were like, there's so many things that we need to do to get out there. And then this device right here has somewhat kind of taken over our lives, not ruined it, but it's changed it. Like when we grew up, we literally rode our bikes and played at friends' houses. We went to Waterworld. We did all these things. We didn't have a phone and we're just fine, right? But even as adults, we find ourselves being like, oh, I got to send this email or, I got to do this. And it's taken away that time of like interaction. And that's what's so beautiful about sporting events. And, we're back in the concert business as well. We're doing Uncle Kracker in September. it's everybody has a story from a song that reminds them of something impactful in their childhood.
Yeah. Tell us about that. The step into it's Sparta Sports and Entertainment.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the Uncle Cracker show.
Yep.
Tell us how that all came about and what is that all going to entail?
Yeah, so back in 2018, we changed our name to Sparta Sports and Entertainment from Sparta Combat League because we wanted to be a full-scale entertainment company. I love country music and I love concerts. I love 90s rap, like grew up on Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and all those things. And then as I got older, I started loving country music. And, for all my fellow Latinos that like to give me shit, they're like, what are you listening to right now? You know what I mean? I'm like, got me some Morgan Wallen going. It's my daughters like it, but I just love the music business and I wanted to be in it. And I think it's a good synergy for us. And so in 2018 to 2019, we did 6 concerts or 7. And then, 2020 happened and then that didn't happen. And then, I had an accident in 2021 and I was out of the company for almost 2 years. So coming back, I just wanted to get our roots under us and, get going with the combat sports stuff. And then this year we were like, we need to do this. And then, a good friend of mine was like, when are you going to do this? And then I had a guy that worked as our talent booking agent. And he's like, hey, are you thinking about getting back into concerts? And then he's like, hey, Uncle Cracker's available. Are you interested? And I was like, I didn't ask anybody. So I'm dead to everybody on the team. I was like, let's roll. And everybody's like, we're doing a concert. And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't tell you that.
Being an entrepreneur and when inspiration comes up or ideas or what is your thought process or on just your ideas being an entrepreneur?
Man, it's it's crazy, right? Like I was like laughing. I was sharing these young entrepreneurs. Nelson, they own SBV flooring and they do epoxy flooring. And dude, I love these kids. They're so hungry and they're in their early 20s and they're grinders. And he's just like, do you ever still have ideas? And I'm like, man, heck yeah. Like I just turned 48 in June and I'm like, this is how my brain works. I go to King Soopers and there's a 32 pack of Dasani water on sale. And I'm like, $4.99 for 32 bottles of water. Like if we sold these for $1 a piece and I could just sell 1 million of them, we'd be golden. And it's not realistic, but my brain really does think of like ways to distribute it into a water company and all this other shit. And then I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Right.
Because we climbed the Manitou Incline this year, and let me just tell you, first of all, that was way more than I I underestimated it. I got to about 1,800 stairs, and I like look back, and I'm kind of scared of heights, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going down. I was like, I'm not going back. So I'm gonna go up, and there was no water on the whole trail. I brought like one 12-ounce bottle of Dasani. I'm cramping and everything else.
You should have brought that 32 pack.
I know. I should have brought the 32 pack, dog, but I would have died halfway up the mountain.
Right.
I was like, there was like 6 medical evacuations by Wednesday of that week, and I was almost 7. I was almost 7. Wow. But honestly, most of my ideas, they just don't stop and they're so random, but a lot of them come from a poor experience customer service wise. Like if I've gone in somewhere and they're like, I didn't like how they did something, or I thought I could do it better, and everybody thinks they could do it better, right? That's kind of how it turns. But I always say I only want to do what lights my soul on fire, what I'm passionate about. Me and my childhood best friend Jeremy owned the Sparta Auto 360, the wrap shops. And for me and him, it was our affinity for cars. We love cars. And so it's like seeing all the cool cars and customizing them. That was something that, just lit my soul on fire. So, I mean, I still have dreams. I harbor things I want to do and pursue. And I undoubtedly know that I will, but I am more thoughtful now. And I do think of like, okay, there's other people to think through on this team. And like, I can't just be running wild like I used to.
Right.
That happens once in a while. Sometimes they let me out of the cage.
For your birthday only.
Abe.
Yes. I guess we wanted to know, can we ask a little bit about the business side, just like good advice and whatnot?
Absolutely.
Just wondering, how important are sponsorships and business just partnerships along with everything that you do?
Oh my God, it's everything to us. And we were talking about this off camera. Partnerships and relationships are everything. Any real long-term success that we've had in Sparta is because of relationships. And a great example is Ramos Law. We had a a relationship for 6 years before we moved forward on actually doing something much bigger.
Wow.
Just building that trust and engaging in each other, seeing what each other's core and values was about before moving forward. If we don't have the partnerships that we have, like Sparta maybe honestly doesn't exist through some of the tough times that we went through. It's everything, you know, and you guys know you're out there all the time, like partnerships and like doing a little bit of work with you guys prior. What I love about you guys is you strive for that partnership. You want to make sure everybody's happy, and that's impossible, but you gotta, you know, you got to do your best. And that is just number one. Relationships are everything. Never turn down a meeting, even if you don't feel like it. Like I literally got my stuff together and flew to Denmark for an opportunity, like out of country, that because I thought it was going to be this big opportunity.
Yeah, you never know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. It could be, and then when it's not, it's not. But then you just move on and just keep rolling with the punches. What I keep saying. Sparta.
What's the biggest business mistake you ever made?
Man, we're gonna need 4 episodes. Notoriously, I'm like, is that a red flag over there? Because let me hold my beer. Let me charge that head first. You know, I remember a mentor of mine said, "You are so ambitious and so optimistic. You're gonna learn some hard lessons, son." And you know, one of the biggest ones is like understanding, trusting the process and knowing that like you might hit lightning in a bottle, but there is no such thing as overnight success. You know, I believe it was Bill Gates that said, I overestimated what I could do in 1 year and underestimated what I could do in 10. And that's never been more true. And I think one of the things too is like ever thinking that you've made it because you haven't. You know, every month, you could have your biggest month ever, and on the next month, it starts all over again, and you've got to do it again. It's like winning a championship, right? It's like you got to win, and then you can win again and win again. But like you're gonna walk through hell, and nothing ever gets easier. It gets tougher. Like the bigger we've gotten, the more businesses and assets we required, the more overhead that there is. You know, so it's just kind of a loaded question. I've made so many. You know, I always, with my optimism, I'm like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to crush it and this is going to be amazing. And then I'm like, well, that was a harsh lesson. And then honestly, sometimes the one that I'm optimistic about, like, or that I'm like pessimistic and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. And, you know, ends up blowing me away. And I'm like, oh, great.
I think, yeah, that's a lot of things. I mean, not comparison to business, but sometimes with our content, or sometimes I'll be like, I don't think that's a good idea. And sure enough, it'll hit and we got 1 million views and sometimes some of these, shout out to my dad. He gives me a lot of ideas. He's like, you should do a video like this. And like, and my ego and my pride, I'm like, no, that's not going to work. And then sure enough, it works. Like, like one example last year for the AFC championship, he's like, oh, here comes in, Stidham was coming in. I did like just on my phone a video of Stidham coming in, and sure enough that video hit. Even ESPN shared it, like because we got like him walking in before anybody, and it was out there in the world before even ESPN broadcasted it and stuff. So they shared it on their like their Instagrams and stuff like that. But you know, sometimes it's like you think you know what. So how do you deal with that? That leads to my next question. Sometimes, you know, you've had a lot of successes, a lot of W's. How do you deal with like your ego sometimes in that sense?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I have no ego anymore because I've been humbled so hard. And man, you just learn those lessons. And it was, I don't know, it sounds crazy. We've talked about this before. I've never been driven by money. I'm more driven by legacy. And I know that sounds cliche, but I want my kids to look back and be like, damn, our dad really built something incredible, right? Because money comes and goes. Like you buy things, you think you want them, and then they're just whatever. Changing somebody's life in a positive way, that's a beautiful thing that never goes away. But I've just been humbled so much. And, you know, to be honest, I wasn't a very faith-filled individual because of the way I grew up and things like that. And then, you know, 5 years ago, that changed for me. And my life has gotten a lot more simpler and a lot better in so many different ways. But as an entrepreneur, man, it's still just, it's complicated. And, you know, I still do take the L's hard. I'm hard on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell everybody I have a losing record as an entrepreneur. If it was like a football team, I would have an under 500 record, but that's just being honest. And you only got to be right one time in entrepreneurship. And we've been right multiple times, and I've been wrong more times.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think
he gets really down on himself. Like, it's like to the point where it's like, okay, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Too, like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Let me know when you got to sell your house. All right. that was one, honestly, where I would just like, we're either going to go out of business, so I got to sell the house. And it's like, we're selling the house. And honestly, it haunted me for quite some time. And then I met other entrepreneurs that were like, dude, you got big dreams. That's going to come with some big sacrifices.
Right.
It's never going to be, we've had businesses that have been lightning in a bottle and done really well. But overall, the ones that you love the most cause the most problems.
It's kind of like females in a sense.
Yeah. It's a love hate. You're married to your dreams, man. And that's a real thing. And, Sparta Sports Entertainment is my love. It's my passion. I love it because it helps other people achieve their dreams.
Right.
But then like when you're looking at the books, anybody who's been a sports promoter or concert promoter can tell you, you've taken some butt kickings and you've written some checks that you couldn't afford to write. And you're just like going to figure out how to cover it. And it's tough, it's tough, but when you just love it so much, you're going to find a way to succeed.
Definitely. Let's talk about some of the upcoming events that you guys have and talk about the events that you had this year. How many events has Sparta had this year?
Oh, geez. I think we've been doing one a month. So I think we're already into 6 or 7 events and we got 3 in September. So, coming up next Friday night, I wanted to do an outdoor summer series. So we've been doing outdoor. We found this really cool place called the Wide Open Saloon in Sedalia, just outside of Castle Rock.
Yeah, right off Santa Fe.
Wide open. It's awesome, man. And the weather has treated us so good. Knock on wood. We had some scary moments. There was a monsoon when we were setting up last week, or the last month, but it got good. So we had that, and the whole dream and vision, as I've shared with you guys, is our building. We wanted to do events out there, but the county, we're just in the permitting process, and that's as far as I can say. It's been frustrating.
Right.
So we're hoping by next year we can really get those off and rolling. And
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Todd, who runs White Open Saloon's awesome. He's welcomed in with open arms. We pack his place, and it's a lot of fun. So we got another outdoor one then, and then September 11th, Pueblo Ice Arena. We got Uncle Cracker. September 12th, professional boxing. And then we come back to September 19th. We're going to be in Thornton. It's another outdoor event. And then October 15th or 16th, we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then October 24th, we got Colorado Springs. And then November 14th, we're doing Blue FC Arena again up there. And Junior Columbus is going to be headlining.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. We're going to have to catch one of these dates.
Yeah, you guys are too busy now, man.
We'll make time for the Junior Columbus one.
We'll watch that.
For sure. The Sparta brand has taken over Colorado for many, many years. Do you guys have aspirations to expand it further out? I mean, you're doing New Mexico, taking Sparta even further?
Yeah, absolutely. Undoubtedly. In 2018, we did 38 shows in 7 states. And we were really on a trajectory to do that. Then the pandemic happened, and then simultaneously my accident. So that was like, 3 years that we kind of lost in some ways. And so being able to come back now, we're going to do something in Florida, and I'm hoping it's in Miami.
Okay.
I'm hoping that's going to be in Miami next year. And then we're also going to, start getting serious about our conversations in Vegas again. It's a different application process there. We did it in 2018. It's there's a lot more to go, but we are definitely getting it back out on the road. And then I have a new concept that I'm really excited to reveal, and the team does know about this one, so I won't be dead to them.
Yeah. You didn't just think of this right now, right?
I'm like, wait a minute. Right on, guys. Who'd you tell? I told Denver Foos. You heard it here first. But yeah, we're gonna get it out there, and then with our other, we have the media company and the real estate company and a lot of other stuff going on. So my dreams have always been bigger than Colorado. I'm so proud to be 303 and represent here, but we definitely want to continue to grow the brand nationally and hopefully one day internationally.
Definitely. I mean, we're in the process of doing that this year. We have the opportunity to take this podcast on the road. We're going to be hitting the road. We're going to be in Kansas City for the first Broncos game. We got a hotel sponsor. We're going to make more announcements here as we go in the next coming weeks, but we're taking this thing on the road. We did a lot of watch parties, but then I don't know, just the opportunities are coming to take this on the road. We were just in Arizona. We just became first brand ambassadors for RAFI Law Group. They're from Arizona. So, I mean, you're a big bro to us. We look up to you, and we want to give you your flowers. You're a really big inspiration for what we're trying to build over here. And we look up to you guys of what you built over there at Sparta. It's a big inspiration. You should be celebrated, the impact that you have. And like you said earlier, you said legacy, you know, money, all that. It just comes and goes. But I have a firm belief of that. It's about impact. It's about how you impact others. And when you leave this earth, what do people say about how did you make people feel? Yeah, you know, and we have a lot of parallels to that, like that, and I think that's why we connect so well, just entrepreneurial and just the way we think. Yeah. But we want to give you your flowers, Jeff. You've built an amazing brand. It's awesome.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I mean, honestly, like, I'm nothing without God. You know, God first for sure. And I had to learn that the hard way. For anybody out there that's not sure what they're doing in their life, like, I had to be humbled. I had to almost lose my life and go down a whole different path to be able to get here. And, you know, with my whole team and everything, like, I'm nothing without the people that helped build Sparta, the community, all that. It was just, you know, it's one of those things that we talked about. I was crazy enough to believe in my dreams. And when you do that, anything's possible. And for you guys, like, bro, you be proud. Like, I told you guys, like, I loved Denver Foos before I knew you guys, and I was so excited. And then, you know, when I saw my boy Brandon, I was like, "Do you know Denver Foos? You think they would come to a fight?" We were excited the first time you guys came. So I love what you guys are doing. The name's epic. Like, I love your mom and dad too. Like, you know, they're always there. I love that family support that you guys have. That's a really, really beautiful thing.
Definitely.
They really love you a lot too. They always bring you up, like, where's Jeff been?
Have you talked to Jeff? My mom.
Tell your mom wants those tamales.
All right. Yeah, my mom. I'm like, Mom, he's busy. He's running an empire. I can't just text him all the time. Say, how's it going? I mean,
no, I love them. They're just such good people. I love the support that they garner for you guys. And it's honestly just a really beautiful thing. Like, I love that. Like, I know you guys probably, you know, get into it because you're so close with each other. And sometimes the people you're closest with, sometimes that happens. But from an outsider looking in, I'm like, that's such a beautiful thing to see your family, your parents, they're supporting the whole way. Like, that's an incredible thing, guys. It's a gift.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Well, before we go, tell them one last time where they could find out all the information for all the upcoming events and keep it locked with Sparta Sports Entertainment has going on.
Yeah, so go ahead and follow us on Sparta SE on Instagram. We're on Facebook, and then SpartaSE.com for all of our upcoming events. Yeah, and just follow Sparta like all the way through. Sparta Brands building, type in Sparta Brands, it'll pop up. But I appreciate you guys for the platform this evening as well.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Hop over. I just didn't want to walk through one.
We got one last gift for you. This is courtesy of DTF Express. What size are you?
I like large.
Large. Do we have a large? We just got more. We just got a new shipment in.
I like the ad placement, man. That's good. You're like, hold on, let me get you. What size are you?
Yeah. I mean, we do everything. We're doing stuff before the podcast. We're doing stuff after the podcast. We literally just implemented this into just our routine, you know, like, yeah. And sometimes that's crazy because I think some people just have a podcast and they get to focus on all of that and all the little things. But here we go.
Oh, it's awesome, brother. I love it. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Exclusive. You can't purchase this anywhere.
Awesome. I'm gonna wear it. I love it.
Right on. Well, guys, that's gonna do it here for the Denver Foos podcast. Thank you so much, Jeff. Sparta Sports Entertainment. We appreciate you for having you. Thank everybody for tuning in. Tune in next week. We got some special guests. We'll see you soon.